Hello and welcome to this edition of Channel 8 News. I'm Emily Kemphy.
And I'm Taylor Lambden. We've got a great show for you this week, so stick around.
Coming up in this week's edition of Channel 8 News, K-State fans travel to Austin to support the Cats in their battle against the Longhorns.
Students learn basic self-defense moves in a course taught by Taekwondo black belts.
Long hours and sleepless nights lead to the unveiling of the Night of Wonder at the Beach Museum.
All this and more on Channel 8 News.
This is Channel 8 News, KKSU LP. For Manhattan and Riley County. From Kansas State University, this is Channel 8 News.
We've had a nice preview of fall weather in the Manhattan area. There's that feeling in the air and the color of the trees are definitely changing.
Hopefully the mild temperatures will stick around in the week to come. Our weather reporter Katie Ellingsworth is outside. How are the conditions out there, Katie?
Thanks, guys. You know, it's looking a little misty out here today, but don't worry, we're not expecting any rain and it won't mess with your afternoon plans. It just has to do with the change in temperature that we've seen over the past week or two. Stay tuned and I'll show you just how much change you can continue to expect to see looking into your weekend. Back to you guys.
Junction City Police are investigating the death of an infant after police received a report Monday morning that the child was unresponsive. The infant was pronounced dead at Geary County Hospital in Junction City. According to Junction City Police Chief Tim Brown, the autopsy will be postponed to determine the cause of death. No other details are being released at this time.
Kansas State University President Kirk Schulz recently gave his annual State of University address.
This yearly address is highly anticipated due to the various issues that face a major university.
Our own Channel 8 News reporter Jason Beats was there to hear the president's vision for the university.
Jason, what was the atmosphere like during the speech?
It was a very formal affair, but money is tight, and the university faces many long-term challenges. Over 100 faculty and students filled the Alumni Center for Kansas State University President Kirk Schulz's annual State of the University Address. Schulz praised the university's growing enrollment, increased fundraising, and growing diversity.
This year we had some all-time highs. We had all-time highs in fundraising, enrollment, diversity of our student body, research, alumni participation, 3 Big 12 championships.
Schulz said the university is moving forward in a positive direction.
I think it's been a great year for Kansas State University. There's many, many things out there that I hope all of you share some success and feel proud of. Looking forward to another wonderful year.
Schulz congratulated student organizations that have received awards. But he understands that one of the major factors that affects enrollment and current students at K-State is the rising cost of tuition.
So it's really a combination of 3 or 4 different things, but there's no question the major driver is the decline in state revenue that are coming in because nothing else is getting cheaper to do, and as that goes in, we simply have to find other sources of revenue.
The rising costs of healthcare and utilities contributed to the rise of expenses for the university. According to Schulz, the university needs to balance its need for resources with affordability and accessibility. The audience thought the president had a well-thought-out vision for the policies the university should adopt going forward.
With everything that's been happening, I can see there are many great things to come for the university, and I'm glad that I will be a part of it.
You know, I really am too, Taylor. It's always great to be a Wildcat.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we will tell you about the one-night art extravaganza.
And if you're worried about walking home alone or unsure what to do if ever under attack, we will let you know about the classes and activities that are available.
Mainly for the family atmosphere.
Once you're here, you're greeted with a smiling face.
You could step onto K-State's campus and feel that without even talking to anyone, that it's welcoming.
The administrators and faculty, they remember your name.
Anywhere you go, someone's there to help you and to smile at you.
Half of campus is going to be wearing purple, and you know that there's that K-State pride.
It's really evident that you can do something and you can be somebody and you can really define yourself here.
I'm a part of the campus.
K-State to me is home.
that kind of gives me a sense of place.
A Wildcat legacy from generation to generation.
Where my grandfather went to school.
Where my mother went to school.
It's a legacy scholarship program started by the K-State Alumni Association, specifically for the children and grandchildren of K-State alumni. When you buy a K-State license plate, you fund legacy scholarships.
Show your purple pride and be a part of the Wildcat legacy.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Taylor Lambden. This past week, the Beach Museum hosted a one-night art extravaganza for the Night of Wonder. Katie Levum is here to tell us all about it.
Thanks, Taylor. Yeah, the Night of Wonder was an amazing and very full event.
You may have noticed a parade of blue signs and balloons making its way around Manhattan's Park recently. Although their little feet didn't move very fast, it's hard to see in the sun. Mark for a cause.
It's important, so.
The good and sad part about this exhibit is while the Beach Museum, the event was only for one night, you can go to the Beach Museum through the Kansas State University website and to learn more about it.
Nick Mercado has a vision. But visions like his don't just happen overnight. These visions take an immense amount of time, labor, and planning. Called the Night of Wonder. The Beach Museum of Art recently hosted this exhibit that was made up of interesting individual pieces that, when placed together, become one. All the elements for the Night of Wonder come from an array of student and faculty collaborations. The K-State dancers and contributors wandered through the exhibit. The good and the sad part about this exhibit is while the students had the amazing opportunity to show their work, it was only for one night.
Thanks for the report, Katie. That sounded like a very interesting exhibit. I wish I would have been able to make it. The weather has been great the past few days. People have been able to get together for good causes, and our very own weather reporter, Katie Ellingsworth, has recently at a gathering for a unique cause.
You may have noticed a parade of blue signs and balloons making its way around Manhattan Park recently. Although their little feet didn't move very fast, it's hard to see in the sun. Mark for a cause.
It's important, so. It's better for the baby's health, better for mom and baby as they are getting into the routine, getting to know each other. It's better for bonding.
Folks who came out to show their support enjoyed various family activities.
I'm walking on the moon! La Leche League helps over 500 families a year with direct breastfeeding support. And sometimes it's as simple as answering a question over the phone, and sometimes it involves more in-depth help. And we do go to women's homes if they need help directly. We also have 3 monthly meetings where women are able to come during pregnancy, clear through their entire experience with nursing. Thank you for coming! Okay!
After 11 years, the event has not only raised awareness throughout the Manhattan community, but has also inspired others to join the support team.
I do it because of that look on a mom's face when it works. And she looks at me and says, wow, that's amazing. And that's what keeps me going.
Continues to reach out to others and educate the community through events like this. For Channel 8 News, I'm Katie Ellingsworth.
You know, I really enjoyed getting out there and meeting with those families. It was a very interesting event, and I know I sure learned a lot. So back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Katie. That looked like a great day for people to get outside for a great cause, one that people don't think a lot about.
As a college student, it is sometimes hard to predict what situations you might face. The best thing that anyone can do is be prepared and educated on how to handle them.
One concern for many college students is personal safety. Last Wednesday, I attended a self-defense class to prepare myself for those type of situations.
So if I go out here, if I want to do a knife hand strike, I want you to pick your target point.
The K-State Housing and Dining Services held a basic self-defense course in the Frith Community Center. The course was taught by black belts from Sun Yi's Academy of Traditional Martial Arts.
You're going to drop down, and then you're going to shoot all the way up, and you're going to drop down.
David Moore of Sun Yi's taught the group twists, turns, and maneuvers to get out of tricky physical confrontations. David Moore explains the importance of knowing these basic moves.
Well, anybody should know self-defense, but particularly college-age students in a college town with the military here as well. You know, nothing bad against the military or the college students, but things sometimes get out of hand a little bit easier with those groups together.
If interested in learning self-defense, Moore has options available to anyone.
We teach K-State classes for full credit. They can also come and enroll in the academy anytime. We're always taking new students. You don't have to wait till any certain time of the year or week or month or whatever to sign up. Anybody can come down and sign up at any time.
That looked like a lot of fun, Emily.
It really was. I enjoyed the class and learning the moves, but I really hope I'm never in a situation where I have to use them.
I'm kidding.
It's time for another break, but stay tuned to see what unique creature the Humane Society has brought with them today.
Limestone was carved into the campus of Kansas State University. Since that time, K-State has known what it takes to rise to the challenge. Now, we're challenging ourselves to become a top 50 public research university by the year 2025. To reach that status, our research dollars, endowment, career award winners, and patents are growing to match our internationally recognized programs and research. K-State 2025 is more than a challenge, it's a commitment. A commitment we'll keep. Because where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. It was the day the music nearly died. Little remained after a 1968 fire roared through Nichols Hall at Kansas State University, reducing the music department to rubble. But before the embers of that terrible fire had even died, a new fire blazed within every member of the Wildcat Band. Using the only sheet music that survived the fire, the band pumped up the next home crowd with a rousing rendition of Wabash Cannonball. To this day, the jingle, the rumble, and the roar still fire up the fans and brings them to their feet. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back. We are now joined by Jessica, Vice President of the Riley County Humane Society. Thank you for joining us today. Who do you have with us?
Hi, thanks for having me. This is Abby. She is about a 5-week-old mixed breed rabbit. If you know your rabbit breeds, she's a mixture between a lion head and a lop, a Holland lop. And so she's one of our many adoptable animals that we have with us at the Riley County Humane Society.
Okay.
Very nice. What other type of animals can we adopt at the Riley County Humane Society?
Well, we focus on mostly dogs, cats, and small mammals. So we have about 5 bunnies in the program now, but we'll also sometimes have ferrets and guinea pigs and chinchillas and things like that. We have about 80 cats and 20 dogs in the program currently.
Okay, is that a pretty typical number, or does it fluctuate?
Fluctuates a little bit. You know, we always hope to adopt as many out as we can, and then that'll give us the opportunity to save that many more.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit more like the adoption process and what Humane Society is all about?
Absolutely. Something that many don't know is that the Riley County Humane Society is 100% volunteer run, and we actually don't have a physical location, and so all of our animals are actually in foster homes. We have a very strong foster network. All of our animals remain in foster homes until their adoption.
So if someone is interested in adopting an animal, how would they begin to go about that process?
It's a pretty easy process. We have a website. It's rchsks.org, and there's a link to Pet Finder where we have all of our animals who are currently adoptable posted. And we also have a Facebook page, so you can like us on Facebook and have updates on all of our adoption events that way as well.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's great for everyone to know, and thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Do you like coffee, Taylor?
Yes, I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but every now and then I'll take a cup before I go to class or work. How about you?
Yes, I rely on coffee to get through the day, unfortunately. I'm sure you'd really enjoy the recent coffee hour hosted by the International Student Center. Channel 8 reporter Katie Leapham was there to experience it.
I'm Jacob, I'm from Poland. I'll present Polish Coffee Hour.
With a packed house and coffee flowing, Jakub Jetrix told the interested audience about the history and culture of his beloved country, Poland. After the presentation, authentic Polish food and the treats were served to the hungry crowd. And if you missed this coffee hour, don't fret.
Presentation, especially since Poland neighbors with my home country, Germany, and I really enjoyed it.
And if you missed this coffee hour, don't fret. There will be more throughout this fall semester.
Once again, we'll take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a look at this week's sporting events and weather. So stay right here on Channel 8 News. That was rough.
The Riley County Police Department and our bike team would like to remind drivers that texting and driving is illegal and dangerous. Remember not to text and drive.
Since opening its doors, the International Animal Health and Food Safety Institute has had literally thousands of people take advantage of the facilities and academic programs that are being developed. K-State Olathe offers a unique opportunity for scientists from industry and academia to work side by side, focused on addressing real-life issues and training the workforce. Progress is being achieved. K-State Olathe, now open for business.
I like K-State mainly for the family atmosphere.
Once you're here, you're greeted with a smiling face.
You could step onto K-State's campus and feel that without even talking to anyone, that it's welcoming.
The administrators and faculty, they remember your name.
Anywhere you go, someone's there to help you and to smile at you.
Half of campus is going to be wearing purple, and you know that there's that K-State pride.
It's really evident that you can do something and you can be somebody and you can really define yourself here.
I'm a part of the campus.
K-State to me is home.
And that kind of gives me a sense of place.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Now it's time to check in with our weather reporter, Katie Ellingsworth.
Katie, will we continue to see rain and fall-like temperatures, or can we expect some changes?
You know, this week's going to be a little bit of a mixture of both. We're going to see the dew that you're seeing right now. That's going to be your morning weather. We're also going to see sunny skies in the afternoon and some cooler temperatures, so I recommend pulling out those jackets in the evening. Moving on, we're going to go to show you ahead for your Saturday weather in case you're looking at traveling. If you go to the West Coast, you're going to see the upper 60s and upper 70s as you get closer to the coast. But if you're planning on staying in Manhattan or going down to Dallas, you're going to see some showers and we're going to see a high of 69. Moving on, looking at closer to today and your and what you're going to see all through Kansas. If you're planning on traveling to Dodge City, you're going to expect a high of 83 and a low of 59. But if you're going to stay up here in Manhattan, we're going to have a high of 83 today. So like I said, no rain. Don't worry about your afternoon plans. We are going to get down to a low of 59 this evening. So I recommend pulling out your jackets like I mentioned before. Moving on to your 5-day forecast. Tonight we're going to see clear skies, but like I mentioned, a low of 59. Then Thursday and Friday, we're going to see highs in the mid 80s and lows in the low 60s and mid 50s. The only time you're really going to have a chance of rain is on Friday a little bit, but mostly on Saturday. That's when you can expect to see You can expect to see showers with a high of 68 and a low of 44, and then we're going to go back to the sunny weather on Sunday. So, expect to see those leaves starting to change and a little bit of a bipolar weather going around, but back to you guys.
Thanks for that weather report, Katie. I really enjoyed the cooler fall-like temperatures at the beginning of the week. I'm ready for cool weather at the football games. K-State sports, including football, is in full swing now.
Yes, K-State had their first conference game this past weekend and unfortunately ended in a loss.
Channel 8 News reporter Greg Jansen is here to tell us more about what is going on at K-State sports. Greg?
Thanks, guys. The K-State football team recently traveled to Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns. With the Wildcats winning their last 5 matchups against the Horns, Texas was determined to pull out a victory. It was a slow start for both sides, but the Longhorns struck first with a 27-yard field goal by Anthony Farah. The Wildcat offense struggled to create momentum early in the game, but scored on a John Hubert touchdown run with a minute left in the half. Kansas State didn't score again until the fourth quarter, but by that time it was too late for the Wildcats. The Longhorns sealed their first victory against Kansas State since 2003. A bright spot for the Wildcats was junior wide receiver Tyler Lockett, who hauled in 13 catches for a K-State record 237 yards. He had more receiving yards than all Texas receivers combined. Even though Lockett and the Wildcats couldn't pull out the win, many Wildcat fans traveled to cheer on the squad in Austin. Here's Channel 8's Zach Doherty on how sometimes the joy is in the journey.
It's a Saturday in college football town once again, which means Wildcats, football, and tailgating. But the Little Apple and Bill Snyder Family Stadium was 680 miles away. The Wildcats invaded the Longhorn territory at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. KSU Wildcats! Echoes of KSU traveled around campus at Texas as Cats fans made their homes right in front of the UT Student Union, which is one of many differences between the two universities.
It's a lot bigger than K-State. 6th Street was insane. Yeah, very insane. But everybody's really cool. There's a lot of them.
The last time K-State lost to Texas, George W. Bush was still in his first term, so the Longhorn fans were definitely hungry for a win. Well, that still didn't tarnish the Texas hospitality.
Raiders here.
Texas is awesome! I mean, come on! Austin's a great city! I would say we still outnumber the K-State fans.
So what did purple and burnt orange make? The perfect football atmosphere.
Go State!
The K-State volleyball team competed in Fayetteville recently in the Arkansas Invitational. The Cats went 2-0 in the tournament, taking down both Arkansas and St. Louis. Leila Perubic was named the tournament MVP after recording a team-high 15 kills. In their next matchup, head coach Susie Fritz picked up her 250th career win in a sweep of Missouri State in Springfield. K-State also hosted the Italian U23 national team, who traveled to Manhattan to take on the Wildcats. Kansas State started out strong, taking the first 2 sets from Italy, but the visitors rallied back, taking the final 3 sets and consequently the match. Because the contest was part of exhibition play, the Cats officially remain at 12-1 on the season. Now on to women's tennis. The Wildcats recently hosted the K-State Invitational. The event took place at the brand new home for the Wildcats, the Mike Goss Tennis Stadium. While temperatures weren't too hot, the Wildcats were, as they smoked UMKC in all 6 singles matches on Friday. While the Wildcats struggled Saturday against Wichita State in singles, they won 4 of their 6 doubles matchups. They continued their success on Sunday, taking all 6 singles matches from Omaha. The team travels this weekend to Bloomington, Indiana for the Hoosier Classic. Now how about a little fantasy football update? At tight end, Cleveland Browns' Jordan Cameron has proved to be a reliable start. Even with a big question mark at the quarterback position, Cameron is averaging 10 targets per game and has hauled in 4 touchdowns over 3 weeks of play. Another pleasant surprise has been our very own Kansas City Chiefs defense. They rank 2nd in the league in points allowed and have forced 9 turnovers over the first 3 games. Now on to running back. After being a high draft pick in most fantasy leagues, the Baltimore Ravens' Ray Rice is struggling to produce. He suffered a hip injury week 2 against Cleveland and later sat out week 3 against Houston. So after 3 weeks, Rice just has 72 yards rushing on the year. So he may be worth being patient with, but you might want a backup plan in case things continue to trend downhill. But that's it for the fantasy football update, and that's it for sports. So Emily and Taylor, back to you.
Thanks for that report, Greg. As always, we wish all of the Wildcats best of luck in their seasons. We're going to take one last break, so stay right here with us.
Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. It was a routine grain elevator inspection until the explosions began. Until a blast tossed him more than 300 feet. Then it became the event that changed Kevin Saunders forever. The body of this K-State alum was broken, but his spirit, well, that spirit not only survived, it thrived. Against all odds, Saunders transformed himself into the world's greatest wheelchair athlete, one of America's premier motivational speakers, and the first Paralympian appointed to the President's Council on Physical Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Is this you? Yeah.
Welcome back. Let's take a look outside. And Katie, can you give us one last look at the weather? All right, Jessica. We heard there's a recent fundraiser event going on at the Riley County Humane Society. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Definitely. We rely very much on financial support of our generous community here in Manhattan for the Riley County Humane Society and all of our animals. We have a fundraising event coming up in November called the Fur Ball. It's actually a black tie optional gala. It's going to be held this year at the West Ballroom of the Student Union, and there'll be dinner, dancing, other types of entertainment, as well as a silent auction. Oh, Abby's getting a little feisty. She's excited about the Fur Ball. It's going to be a very, very nice event, and all of the proceeds will benefit our animals at the Riley County Humane Society. So we're very much looking forward to that and trying to advertise it in the community for everyone to attend.
Okay, great. We're going to take one last look at the weather. Katie, can you tell us what's going on outside?
Hi guys. Okay, so like I mentioned, I recommend getting out the next couple of days and enjoying the nicer weather before the rain comes in on Saturday. In October, you should see, like the earlier to mid-October, you'll see the leaves start changing colors. I know that we've seen a little bit of the green coming out of our trees, but hopefully those beautiful autumn colors will start to return, the oranges and the reds and everything. So it should be a pretty sight to see, especially walking around campus, and you'll be able to get out your fall weather clothes and your boots and all those fun things that I know that we love. So back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Katie, for that final look. I'm looking forward to the fall weather.
Well, that's all we have time for today on Channel 8 News. But if you would like to follow us more and get a little bit more information about what we're doing, what's happening on Channel 8 News, you can check out our new Twitter account at Channel 8 KSU or our Facebook page at Channel 8 News KSU. Just a great way to keep updated and let you know what's going on in the community. From Taylor, Katie, Greg, and myself, thanks for joining us today.